Guys, let's talk about playoff predictions. Who's going to make it into the playoffs? Who could potentially get eliminated this week? There's 2 games left in the season, but there's still a lot of unanswered questions. Who is going to the playoffs? Who are going to be taking the final spots? Who's taking that first week bye? We're going to talk about all that stuff for both the AFC and the NFC right now. First off, for the AFC, the #1 spot right now is the Buffalo Bills. They could clinch the #1 seed if they win this week and the Kansas City Chiefs actually lose, because the Bills have the edge or the tiebreak over them. If they either win out or the Chiefs lose 1 and the Bills win 1, the Bills officially clinch the #1 spot. And so happens, the Chiefs could potentially clinch the #2 spot. The Cincinnati Bengals right here, they have not clinched the AFC North. They've only clinched a playoff spot because the Baltimore Ravens right now, they are about a game away. So now how they could clinch that division is if they win and the Baltimore Ravens lose, the Cincinnati Bengals will officially clinch the AFC North and they'll be the AFC North champions. The Baltimore Ravens will potentially clinch the #5 spot. And the other team that has already clinched a playoff spot is the Los Angeles Chargers. I don't see them going down farther than 6. Potentially go up to 5 depending on how the last 2 weeks actually go. And the 2 teams that are in the hunt, and the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Miami Dolphins, the last 2 spots in the playoffs right now. The Jacksonville Jaguars, they cannot clinch a playoff spot this week, whether win or lose, okay? The deciding factor will be in the final week with the Jacksonville Jaguars face against the Tennessee Titans, and whoever wins that game potentially wins the division and potentially is in the playoffs, okay? Now, if the Jacksonville Jaguars win and the Tennessee Titans lose, that will help them over the tiebreaker scenarios, but the last game of the season will really play a part for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, the Miami Dolphins right now, they've been on a 4-game losing streak. They just lost to the Packers. They will be facing the New England Patriots, okay? They could clinch and potentially clinch the final spot in these so-called playoffs, okay? How? They could beat the Patriots and the Jets lost, okay? That's potentially how they could win or win out, okay? And that's pretty much it. If the Jets lose, they are out. If the New England Patriots lose to the Miami Dolphins, they will be out as well. The other teams that are in the playoff bubble, the Tennessee Titans, like I said, the deciding factor will be in the final week when they play the Jacksonville Jaguars. So we have to see what happens there. And the final 2 teams in the AFC that are still technically alive are the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Las Vegas Raiders. It's if any of those 2 teams lose, they officially will be out. They literally have to win out the next 2 games, and a lot of help has to happen. For the NFC side, the Philadelphia Eagles right now have the #1 seed. All they have to do to both win the division and the #1 seed is win a game. Okay, that's all they have to do. Win a game. They can also clinch the division. If the Cowboys lose and the Giants lose, they'll clinch the division. But to win that first week bye, they will need to win 1 more game to solidify themselves to be a couple games ahead of the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings have already clinched their division. They are pretty much securing the #2 spot. The other one, the San Francisco 49ers, have also clinched a playoff spot, and the Dallas Cowboys have also clinched a playoff spot as well. Now, the other teams that are basically in the hunt, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Giants, and the Commanders. The Buccaneers could actually clinch their division and a playoff spot if they beat the Carolina Panthers. If they lose, then the final week will actually play a huge part to see who is going to be that division leader. For the Giants to get inside the playoffs or clinch a playoff spot, all they have to do is basically win. If they win, they're in. Now, if they lose and lose out, it could get very crazy. For the Commanders, it's a lot of winnings and a lot of help as well. Potentially, the Seahawks could overtake them, and even the Packers could overtake them as well, and even the Lions, right? Those, in my opinion, those are the biggest 3 threats. And the Carolina Panthers and the Saints, right now, they're technically in the playoff hunt because that division is so darn bad. The Saints could potentially get eliminated, and the Carolina Panthers could potentially get eliminated as well this week. Playoff elimination scenarios, like I said, the Carolina Panthers lose, they're basically out. For the New Orleans Saints, if they lose, they're out. Or if the Bucks win or the Commanders win, or the Bucks win, Lions win, Packers win, the Saints will officially be eliminated. For the Commanders, if they lose, Lions win, and the Packers win, they will be eliminated. And for the Lions, if they lose plus the Commanders win, they're officially eliminated. It's crazy to think that even the Detroit Lions right now have a huge shot to make it into the playoffs. For the Green Bay Packers, they have been storming. If they lose, Lions win, they'll be out. If they lose and the Commanders win, they will be out. And those are 2 different scenarios that could happen, but potentially the Packers could get into the playoffs. If they win out and the other teams, the Seahawks, Lions, and the Commanders lose 1 game, the Packers are potentially, they're inside the playoffs right now. So the Seahawks, if they lose and the Commanders win, or if they lose and Lions win and Packers win, they will be out. And like I said, for the Patriots, if they lose, they're out. If the Jets lose, they're out. If the Steelers lose or the Dolphins win, they will be out. And the last team for the Raiders, if they lose, the Dolphins win, or the Jets win, they will be officially eliminated. Those are pretty much all the scenarios of the teams that could potentially get eliminated and even clinch a playoff spot this week. The only world team or division that will not be solidified after this week will potentially be the division with the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Tennessee Titans, and maybe the division of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But that's pretty much it. After this week, we should really see what the shape up is for the ranking scenarios, who has the first week bye, who doesn't, and who's potentially going to have a first round matchup with the Kansas City Chiefs. And that's going to be very, very interesting, if you want to call it that, right? So that's pretty much it. Let me know if your team right now is trying to get into the playoffs. Or are they the Raiders? Or are they the Steelers? Or are they the Packers? Or are they the Lions? Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. If you guys did enjoy the video, please remember to hit that like button, subscribe down to the channels for more comment like this. If you guys love sports like I do, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel as well, and give you guys daily content each and every single day. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys tomorrow. See you guys next time, and peace.